All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to another uh, exciting edition of Your Two Dads or rumble.com/JJW. Deacon will be here in a minute. He's got a radio thing going on where he needs to touch his buttons or something. I'm not real sure, but he'll be here in a minute. And we have so much news to talk about this morning. We're going to talk about James O'Keefe and Project Veritas. We are going to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and the national divorce. And we're going to talk about Alec Baldwin for sure. So, you know what? I gotta make sure I'm following that I've got the Rumble feed up. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all doing well and have your cup of coffee. Yeah, that's good.
Love you.
I love you too. All right. Okay. So, good morning, everybody. I am your intrepid reporter, JJW. I have my Project Veritas suit on, and I'm ready to catfish somebody to get a scoop. All right. Let's see. I'm gonna start off with like this. This is terrible news. It's super bad, and I just want to get it out of the way, especially while Deke's not here. There was another earthquake in Turkey. What's up, dog? What's up, dog? Literal dog right here. So there was another earthquake in Turkey, and this was not a 7.8 and a 7.6 like it was, but those were only like 3 weeks ago. And the earthquake that was in Turkey this weekend was a 6.3, I believe, and the 6.3 earthquake hit the same area that devastated Turkey. Not even 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. I need to put this on here. And the earthquakes in Turkey 2 weeks ago killed 41,000 people. 41,000 people have died so far due to the earthquakes last week, and then they got hit again. So not good. The Turkish Interior Minister Süleyman Soylu said 3 people were killed and 213 injured in the most recent earthquake. The new trembler has unsettled families and communities who've already had their sense of security shaken to the core. I cannot even imagine how people are struggling to survive in this area. I mean, you live your whole life, and then one day buildings all around you fall down, and people that you knew your whole life are gone, and then the ground keeps shaking. I can't imagine that people would either not be looking to move to some other part of the country where they have family, or I mean, just the rebuild is just going to be enormous and a massive undertaking. So, people are scared, and they're panicking, and so my heart goes out to the people in this region, Turkey, Syria, that are there's 1.6 million people that need temporary housing right now. So that's really, really bad. So that's it, and that's just the news. That's an update on what's going on in the world. Let's see. I'm going to talk. We'll get to the James O'Keefe thing in just a minute. You ready, Deacon? You coming in? Are you still doing stuff? Hey, sorry. You want to wait some more?
I was letting thing. I didn't want to come in. I mean,
okay.
You started the show. It was like I was like just a couple minutes late, and I come in and I'm like, okay, JJ's still going to be in the middle of his intro, and I come in and you're like, thousands and millions of dead people, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just tune into? Are we not still doing the middle of the intro? Did he not do an intro? Did he just
Well,
turn it on and
no,
like people
I
are
did.
dead and you suck and welcome and drink
No,
some coffee?
no.
And I was like, I really don't want him
Hey,
to
I
turn to
got
me.
lambasted for the hyper positive yesterday, so I was a little more sedate. A little more
We need to
sedate
have a
today.
meeting about. I'm sorry. I take this. This is just a fun thing for me to do, but so it's a
Yeah,
show and it's turned into a show. And this is what I've done for my business for 30 years. And this is a fucking like a jungle gym romper room that we have here in the mornings. And it drives me nuts how unorganized it is. And it just drives me nuts. And
I
it
know.
makes my head, it makes me nuts sometimes because I'm so used to having everything in order over here, and this is just throwing shit against the wall to see if it sticks, and it just drives me nuts. And I did not want you to go, all these people are dead in Turkey and people are dying, children are dying. Hi, Deacon, how are you? How was your day? Are you doing
Good
good? I
point.
did not
That's a
want
good
that at
point.
all. So
Good point.
I was like,
I was just running down the
I'm
stuff that I
sorry.
didn't know.
No,
I just wanted to
I'm a
mention this
crazy
story. That
person.
you're not crazy. I just wanted to mention it because, like, we've covered it before, and there was a development. So,
I don't know.
anyway,
We do things weird sometimes, and
all right.
it's my OC, it's not my OCD.
Nope,
It's my
nope, nope.
crazy
No,
brain.
it's your professional. It's your professional
No,
habits.
it's my bad
All right.
habit.
No, you're not. No. All right. So, Deacon, I don't even know if you had time to even see the James O'Keefe stuff yesterday. So, I heard a ding. I heard a ding ding sound. What was that? Oh, he's on campus. Okay, Mister, he's on campus. He can't join us this morning. Okay. So, James O'Keefe yesterday he didn't post a video. Tim Pool posted a video on his channel, and it was about a 45-minute. Um,
All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, dude. I love you. You know you do. You know I do.
So yes, Deacon. I don't even think you've had time to watch this or even the highlights of it. But yesterday, not a resignation speech, a kind of matter of fact speech was posted on Tim Pool's channel and a couple of others like Charlie Kirk, a couple others too. It was James O'Keefe speaking to his staff, delivering some remarks to his staff as he was walking out the door. You are familiar with Project Veritas, and you know kind of like what they do and what they've done, and they have had a tremendous amount of goodwill from people due to the fact that James O'Keefe is forthright and honest, and is very direct in terms of what he says and does and how he represents himself. And over the past couple of weeks, ever since the Pfizer story, you remember the Pfizer story where the guy said, "Hey, we're bioengineering, we're doing gain of function research on
That
COVID."
that us crazy conspiracy
Yeah,
tinfoil hat people were saying for 2 years. I mean, we go ahead. Sorry.
yeah. So it's only been a couple of weeks since that story, and in the couple of weeks since that story, James O'Keefe had the board of Project Veritas removed his powers as CEO, put him on unpaid leave, and basically didn't allow him to be at work for 2 weeks. And then, while he was on unpaid leave, prohibited him from since he is still the CEO of Project Veritas. The board prohibited him from speaking to the public or talking to donors, I think it was. And then, while he was on unpaid leave and been shushed, yep, 1 minute, okay.
No, not 1 minute.
You got to go.
I do that. So if you see me do this, that means I've got
Yeah.
I've got a response to something that you just said, and I don't want to interrupt you.
I'm just trying to outline the facts as I understand them. So the board put him on unpaid leave, and then while he was on unpaid leave and couldn't talk to anybody, held another vote and removed him from the office of CEO. So they basically totally pushed him out, and they don't give him anything to do.
And now the problem with this is something that you said there, a word that you said that that we just kind of overlook and whatnot, and we don't really go down to the bottom of this. But Project Veritas, and you can look up, but it was started as it wasn't started as a business, and now it's a business. Okay, you said he could not talk because of donors.
Yeah.
Donors. How many
Well,
millions of dollars is Project Veritas pulling in now from donors, quote unquote, donors? Now, is it really what was started by James? Is it really what, now that it's gotten so big? That's what I said earlier when we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Project Veritas needs to die. The whole thing needs to dwindle away and die, because its purpose is, it can't do its purpose anymore, because its purpose was to find the real information by getting people to say the stuff that they wouldn't normally say, and undercover type stuff. Everybody already knows this shit's out there now. It's like that show Undercover Boss. That show was never going to go for 6 seasons, because people start thinking, this weird new guy that works here really looks like my boss with a mustache. People start
right.
So Project, that's what the Pfizer people, did you see the memo that was sent out after that crap? They're like, look, you fuckers don't talk to any hot chick. That if a hot chick comes up to you and is like, hey, good looking,
I didn't see that.
bullshit. Don't play that. Did you see that memo came out and they were like, don't?
I did not see that memo, but I can imagine that memo. Listen, Pfizer employees, you're all frumpy, fat, white guys.
You dumbasses.
Hot girls are not interested in you.
No, they're not.
And hot guys are not interested in you if that's the way you're going to go. But whoever it is, if you're a 4 and a 7 is asking you what's up and wants to get a drink, that 7 is James O'Keefe.
The Project Veritas. So yeah. Project Veritas needs to die, and something else needs to take its place in time. You don't need to just put something out right immediately. It's too suspect.
One of the
it's a business. That's what I'm getting at. You said the word donors, and donors. It's a business. So there's other things invested now rather than what James wanted to do. James wanted to get the truth, and now it's not about getting the truth. It's about money.
Yeah.
So go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's about money for some people, but okay. So here's the way the organization is set up, and it's probably set up that to protect James and probably it was set up this way to say to the public, like, look, I'm not a guy controlling your donations. We have a board. We're going to be ethical, responsible, loyal, use your donations appropriately, And James O'Keefe is the front man that goes out there and he presents the stories because he's recognizable, but also he goes to all of the events and he gets donors like, look, if you like what we're doing, if you care about the truth, support Project Veritas, we're going to use your money to get more, to break more stories and to uncover the truth. So James O'Keefe is the funding guy. He goes out and he gets the donations so that they can operate, so that they can run their business, so they can catfish some bad guys and get some truth. Now, in order to set up that structure and to garner trust, especially a big organization gets a lot of donations, they set up he is a CEO and they set up a board to govern over it and so it can function responsibly. So what happens when a bad company, I'm not saying Pfizer, but let's say that there's a hypothetical like drug company that is evil as fuck. What happens when a bad company hypothetically approaches some of the board members and says, hey, maybe it'd be worth your while if, decided with us.
They don't even have to do that, JJ. That's not, you're too positive. Remember, you're Peter Positive. They don't do that, Peter. They do this. Hey, JJ, I've got shit on your mom, your brother, your wife, your daughters, everybody. I've got all this. I know where they work. I know everything. So you still going to do that shit? Or what are you going to say now?
Right.
That's what they do. They're not like, hey, would you like some money? They're like, hey, I'm going to cut off your nuts and hand them to you in a bag.
And you might have, you could use one, you could use the carrot, you could use the stick, but I think that some members of the board have been captured, like they have,
right.
and the captured board was like, Project Veritas is big enough, and we've got enough support over here. We can push James out, and we could keep running the banner and whatever.
Yep.
That is not going to happen. You guys
that's
pushed out James O'Keefe, and the internet immediately was like, unsubscribe. I'm not following. Cancel my
unsubscribe. No
donations.
shit.
So
Yep,
if you haven't already, if you're following Project Veritas on Twitter, you should unfollow them. If you're following Project Veritas on
really?
YouTube, you
Really?
should unfollow them.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I did. And I went to their latest video, and I went through the comment sections of their latest video. The video was from 4 days ago. This news broke yesterday. The comments on that video were, "We stand with James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe is Project Veritas. Reinstate James O'Keefe or else. Unsubscribed." There's one guy said, "I have given, over the last 12 years, I've given $20,000 to James O'Keefe. And wherever
What?
James O'Keefe goes, I will support him." And like, gone. So Project Veritas is going to die, dude. It is going to die.
There's man. I wish I had enough money to give $20,000 to some random goddamn guy on the internet because he's doing something with the government.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck, man?
To stopping the bad guys, right? I mean, that's like $1,200 a year. That's, you could, or maybe you had a good year investing, or, some people are just got money.
Some people have a shit ton of money, and that's just it. Some people just have a shit ton of money. They will never understand what it's like to really not have money. They can put away their bank accounts and they can live like a poor person for a while, but that's not it. You don't really understand until you can't pay your bills and your kids are hungry. Period.
I mean, that's definitely a large percentage of us, have had those kind of stresses. And this is side rail of that. Yesterday, I posted a video in the chat on our Discord server that was just like, hey, it's like an hour-long interview with Sean Gordon Murphy. He's a comic book creator or whatever, and there's a lot of really good financial advice because that guy is successful, and like he goes through things like creative people. Like, you guys always think you're just like, you have a good idea and it's just going to like become money. Like, no, dummy, you have to like make good decisions and steward what you do.
And, I know that for a fact. I got a million brilliant ideas. I just don't act on them.
And I mean, I can tell you right now, like, I don't really want to do it, but like in terms of managing this exactly. But if like you ever come across some money, you want to turn that money into a stable income, buy rental property and start renting property, because that's how real estate and rentals is how you. It's not how you do it.
Well, I used to think that way, and there's people that will tell you that way is the wrong way to do it. It might be now, but once you've dealt with problem renters, you will never want to have a rental property again. Let me amend what you said. Me and my brother have talked about this. If we had land and we had some money, this is what we would do. This is straight up what we would do.
Yeah.
Storage buildings. When we attempted to move here in Kentucky, I don't know about how it is in Texas, but when we attempted to move here in Kentucky, in Western Kentucky, a couple of years ago, we were looking for some storage buildings. The only ones we could find were in a town over. All these little, these storage buildings and rental units and stuff that you can find, every freaking one of them are rented. I've got a buddy, or it was a girl that I used to pick up for school, and I drive by her parents' house all the time. And her parents, I still know them. I see them in the grocery store. And in part of he lives right by the parkway, and right off the parkway in his property, he built some rental units some storage units years ago. And there's probably about 100 there, and they're not very big. They're probably like 10 by 10 concrete units with some electricity inside and a fence around them. He rents them for probably like $125 a month, and he's got 100 of them, and they stay rented, and his upkeep on those is almost zero. Like, you got to mow and weed eat, but as long as those buildings are built solid concrete, they don't have any moisture problems, and we have huge moisture problems here in Kentucky. They don't have moisture problems. They don't have any kind of bug problems that can get in there, and you have some electricity in there, the things will stay full, and you've just got money coming in every month. every month.
I mean, that sounds like a good, and until you have too much of that service in
Until
the
you have
area.
too much.
But I mean,
That's right. Until you have
but
too much of that
so
service and you
but
can't get
back
rid of
to
them, you pay your
like,
bill.
and that's rentals too. That's just storage rentals.
That's
But
storage rentals, right.
like
You're right.
property rentals, like,
Property rentals.
yeah, I hear you talking about bad renters, but like, well, yeah, that's the part where you have to make good decisions and not rent to scrubs. You gotta rent to people
Well,
that are
and then
like,
you look like that. You say that, and that's easy to say, but then you've got these people that you're like, these people were a wonderful family when they came in, and look at
yeah,
what happened. Look at what they
yeah.
did, you know?
Well, I mean,
Some
there's
people
a
are
lot
good
of different
people
ways.
and
I can see that story going a lot of ways, like, it's a good family and then like something happened, or they just kept like doing a little bit too much, and the landlord was being soft hearted and wasn't like, hey, you can't do that. You
or
know
you
what I
could have
mean?
a
I mean,
really
I don't
nice
know.
family and they're really nice and there's no, police being called or they're not scrub little
Right.
family, but they just don't clean up after themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Know?
So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, I mean, from what I've been able to observe from people who have money and then make an investment and then can make money and be stable, like investment markets, like that's a gamble. But
You gotta have money to
rentals,
make money in this country.
rentals can be a very stable and predictable and self maintaining. In terms of like, it pays for its own mortgage, it pays for its own all the improper improvements and stuff. So
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
gotta
if
have
you have.
money.
Okay. All right, so that's James O'Keefe. James O'Keefe has been pushed out of Project Veritas by the board. The board misrepresented the facts. They said he was on vacation. They said that he resigned. No, 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 no. He got removed. He got removed. And he did leave an ultimatum. Says, "Hey, if you guys don't quit right now and fix this, then I'm gonna leave." And they didn't change their practices, and they stripped him of his job, so he doesn't work there anymore. So Project Veritas, for all of its historical goodwill, take that trust and faith, throw that in the trash can, unsubscribe right now. Go follow James O'Keefe, though. He's on Twitter. You can follow James O'Keefe. All right, let's move on. We have some I should have probably saved this for tomorrow, because then I could have done it as a banner on the page and been like Alec Baldwin, because that always gets us clicks. There's been some developments in the Alec Baldwin case, Deacon,
You
of
should have
which I'm
changed. You
sure
could have saved it, man.
I shouldn't I save it?
You've
Mm,
already ruined it now. You
yeah,
gotta you
yeah.
gotta say it now.
Well, maybe we'll just cover it again tomorrow, and let's put a banner up. There's been developments in Alec Baldwin's case. So first of all, there's three that are worth noting. Uh, he's defeated the enhancement on the gun charge. Remember, I talked a couple weeks ago when we talked about this. I said he could get manslaughter, or he could get manslaughter while committing a criminal act or something. The one is a charge can be like a year in jail, but the enhancement can make it like 5 years in jail. So Alec Baldwin has defeated the enhancement, so he will not be facing a 5-year prison sentence for the fatal Rust shooting. So a big win for Alec Baldwin in that case. Okay. So now he still faces the manslaughter charge, but it has a much lower potential fine or prison time.
Yeah.
So
Hang
he's
on.
not.
Let me
Yeah,
hold my breath here. I'm gonna hold my breath for how long Alec Baldwin spends in prison. I've already started.
he's not going to prison. He's rich and powerful and famous. Even if he whoopsie doopsie kills somebody, he's not going to go to jail. Um,
He I think we've proved that famous people can straight up
yeah.
not just whoopsie doopsie kill somebody. They can straight up fucking kill somebody and not go to prison. I mean, we've
Oh,
proved this time and time again, JJ.
It's like you go to work like any other day. You have live ammo in your belt. You pull your gun out and you pull the hammer back and you kill somebody
Not just
accidentally.
not just like that. I mean, celebrities can get into car accidents, being drunk or being high and kill somebody, and they
Yeah.
don't go to prison, JJ. They don't.
No. No.
Celebrities don't have the same rules that me and you do
Not as
at
long as
all.
somebody can make a buck off their name. If
That's
somebody can make a
exactly
buck
right.
off their name, they've got protection. Can anybody make a buck off your name? Big bucks, because that's what it takes to get protected. Okay, so let's see. So another thing that I wanted to mention about in the Alec Baldwin situation is I have mentioned before how I kind of found it like a little gross that the surviving husband of Helena Hutchins, the victim in the Alec Baldwin Rust shooting, Helena Hutchins' widower, is it widower? I think it's widower.
Widower.
Her former husband had been added to the production crew, was given a producer credit, and was, had vocally supported that, Alec Baldwin and forgive him or whatever. Well, it turns out that that Mr. Hutchins has been added to the DA witness list. So let's see. Let me get his name, if his name's on here. Matthew Hutchins. Matthew Hutchins is now going to testify on behalf of the prosecution against Alec Baldwin in the Hutchins. In I guess it's going to be Santa Fe v. Alec Baldwin, or maybe the state of New Mexico versus Alec Baldwin. So Matthew Hutchins is now on the prosecutor's witness list, which is going to be a little bit awkward during those production meetings since they are still trying to film Rust this year. And let me see what my third note was on the Alec Baldwin case. Oh, it was the same.
I probably am going to watch this movie. I know everybody, and everybody is. And honestly, you need to look at it as, do they need to continue this movie? Is continuing this movie now strictly for profit? Because and it's honestly it is, because I'm talking and I'm disproving what I've started by keep talking. I do that sometimes. All right. So I guess that is a good idea to go ahead and release the movie, because the movie is going to it already has attached, because of
names and media headlines.
Because of this killing, this movie already has attached media.
Right.
They don't even have to spend any money for freaking advertisement, as much as they were going to, because this already has the media attention. Okay. But this movie also helps out all of the hundreds and hundreds of other people and their families that worked on this movie. So if they stopped this movie, all of those people, not just Alec Baldwin, fuck Alec Baldwin. He's got enough money to do whatever the fuck he wants to for the rest of his life. Fuck that guy. But everybody else back there holding the camera and holding the lights and shit like that, those are the people that need the money. So yeah, release this movie for those people, but fuck Alec Baldwin.
So I was gonna say I bet this, but I just looked it up. So the production budget for Rust, the movie budget, the production budget is estimated or reported by Fox Business and New York Post as $7.279 million. So the production budget's just a little over $7 million, and it's reported by Variety that there are 7 entities listed as backing the film, including Alec Baldwin's El Dorado Pictures, Thomasville Pictures, Cavalry Media, Brittany House Pictures, Short Porch Pictures, and Financiers Bond.
You look up who owns all those picture companies now. You'll have to do your own freaking research, but make a list of all those companies, look up who owns those companies, look up that, and you'll come to find out who's really getting the money and who's really pulling the strings and who's really being like, we need to get. I didn't realize there were 7 goddamn companies that do this. I was looking out for the fucking light, the best boy and the grip guy in the back, but fuck this now, man.
Let me put this picture up let me see. Come on, picture. Where are you at? Where'd it go? We'll put this picture up so that people cruising by on Rumble and YouTube will be like, Alec Baldwin. Okay. So listen to this. As I said, there's 7 entities, and there's this film has a budget of $7 million. It's going to cost more to get it finished, right? So Alec Baldwin has got some of his change invested in this, and can he take a hit of $1 million? Maybe, but he has investors, and his investors are like, we put money into this thing. We need to get money out of this thing. You need this. This cannot be. We cannot just lose money on this if you ever want to work again, if you ever want investment from us again, and by the way, Alec Baldwin, you're now sitting on a manslaughter charge. Whoever is going to back you again, if you want to get backing from us again, if you want to get backing from any of our associates again, then you better play ball, bud. Hang on 2 seconds.
Oh, JJ went away. I was like, what the hell's going on? Oh, okay, cool. Awesome. I'll tell you right now, for those of you listening, I am playing on the radio. I just introduced a bluegrass version of the Goo Goo Dolls. Remember the Goo Goo Dolls, JJ? You're still muted.
Oh yeah.
So
Man.
once a month, I do this thing called the Covered Dish at 7:00, and it's a cover song. And once a month, I've got all these bluegrass covers of popular songs that are actually pretty dang good. And this week is the Goo Goo Dolls, bluegrass versions of the Goo Goo Dolls. It's actually, I don't know if I could get
What
away.
was how many hit songs did they have? Were they one of those like one hit guys, or I know they were on rotation a lot in the 90s.
No, they overplay about 3 or 4 of their songs, but their album, A Boy Named Goo, and there was another album for that. Those are really good. There was the whole album is great 90s rock is what that is. Early 90s rock is what the Goo Goo Doll, A Boy Named Goo is. And you can listen. That's one of those you can put the CD in and press play and listen to every song. It's good.
Okay, sorry about that. My kid came in and was looking for mom, who's already gone to work. So that wasn't gonna end up being a quick conversation. So Rust is going to be finished this year, but it's going to be awkward. And as I was saying, Alec Baldwin's got 6 other companies that are probably pressing on him like, hey, you better figure something out because we want our money. And if we don't get our money, you're never going to get financing again. And nobody in this town is going to hire you besides us. And we're already in bed with you. But, they have got leverage on this dude right now. So he doesn't really have a whole lot of choice. And I mean, isn't this just a gross situation? Like you would think, like, oh my God, our star of our movie killed our cinematographer. We should probably just shit can this movie and take a write down on this investment. But
between me and you and the wall over here, I can't wait till the fucking movie's released so everybody will quit talking about it.
The only thing that I think Alec Baldwin could do right now to garner any public favor, and he should have done it immediately, was say, whatever happens with this movie, whether we continue it or not, my portion of the investment, I'm going to turn over to the Hutchins family, or I'm going to turn over to, that's the only thing. Did he do that? No. Oh, no. He went on a couple of interviews and was like, I didn't pull the trigger.
As far as we know, he hasn't done it, and he might have. And I'm not trying to say that he did. I'm just saying that as far as we know. But you're right. That would have been the right thing to do.
That would have been the only thing he could do. We might have to talk about Alec Baldwin again tomorrow, just so I can put a title card up. Hey, good morning, Jordan, Jeremy, David. Good morning, guys. David, haven't seen you here in a minute. Released the Batgirl movie? No, thank you.
Let's switch channels. This show is dull.
You bet.
I love it. I was thinking though, like I was gonna make one of those with Kamala Harris cackling.
God, no.
All right. Let's move along. What else did I have in this show?
I've got to get some more of those.
Yeah.
I'll do that today.
Okay. Let's talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene and the national divorce, Deacon. Okay. National divorce. Now, boy, this got some attention yesterday in our little discourse over a little bit. Oh. And I was like, oh my God, guys, please don't fight over this. Please don't fight. Marjorie Taylor Greene has been saying what a bunch of people have been saying for a while. And this is like not a new idea. And I don't even necessarily disagree or agree. I think it's a conversation to have. Like, why are we in the situation that we are, where we've got to, that we need to have this conversation, but it is a conversation we should have. Let's put duplicate.
And you're right about this not being a new conversation. This was actually written into the foundations of our country to be able to do this.
So
As much as people don't want to
Marjorie
believe it was, you need to read.
Taylor, I mean, really,
You've got
it's
a
true.
crappy connection or something.
I do have
Catching
a
like
bad connection. I do have a bad connection. You want to give the rundown of this story for a second?
I don't know if now you're good. Go now.
I think it's cleared up. It's cleared up.
Yeah, you were just real choppy.
Sorry. Yeah, I can see it. It's if you want to kind of cover the story here for a second, if you got it.
I don't have it up.
All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a sitting member of Congress. She's a representative in the House, and she said yesterday that we need a national divorce. We need a national divorce. And what does a national divorce mean? I know some of you guys already know, but there's a couple people here that maybe don't. National divorce is the idea that divide between the blue country, Democrats, the Republicans, the urban and the country. Is it bad? It's not working. It's not working. I don't know what to do. It's gonna be my Wi-Fi or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I restarted, killed the whole show.
I know that's the bad thing. If you restart it, it kills the whole show. I'll read this New York Post. It says we need to separate by red states and blue states and shrink the federal government. Everyone I talk to says this, added Greene, who was reelected to the House last November. From the sick and disgusting woke culture issues shoved down our throats to the Democrats' traitorous Americans' last policies, we are done. Greene, 48, later clarified amid a social media uproar that a national divorce doesn't mean civil war and argued that President Biden is the one leading the country into World War III. She's exactly fucking right. She's exactly right. I believe what she's saying. Some people in our audience might not, but I do 100%. People are absolutely fed up and disgusted with the left-wing insanity and disaster America last policies. National divorce is not civil war, but Biden and the neocons are leading us into World War III while forcing corporate EGS and gender confusion on our kids. Enough, Greene tweeted. I agree with her. I'm sick of it too.
Yeah.
She later tripled down in response to a tweet by President Biden about his surprise visit to Ukraine earlier Monday, saying, impeach Biden or give us a national divorce. We don't pay taxes to fund foreign countries' wars who aren't even NATO's allies. We aren't sending our sons and daughters to die for foreign borders and foreign democracy. America is broke. Criminals and cartels reign, and you're a fool. She's exactly right. It's unclear which side Green's home state.
So far, not wrong at all.
No, it's unclear which side Green's home state of Georgia would better fit with if a breakup were to happen. The Peach State went for Biden in the 2020 election and has 2 Democrats representing in the Senate. However, Republicans control the governor's mansion and the state legislature. The rhetoric is destructive, and let's see. Republican Utah Governor Spencer Cox blasted Greene over the tweet. I'm not even going to read his shit because that's what the liberals do. The liberals don't read the Republican shit, so I'm not going to read your liberal bullshit. All right, so fuck off. If you want to read it, you can go to New York Post and read it your damn self. If you don't like our system of government, feel free to move. If you don't like our policy outcomes, work to change them. Tweeted a conservative commentator, A.G. Hamilton. But members of the Congress swear an oath to the Constitution and have no business publicly calling for the dissolution of a union that Constitution governs. No, that's bullshit. They do. That's exactly what this country is, okay? They're not slaves that get up there and do everything that they're supposed to because they don't. They're supposed to go up there and serve us, but do they?
There's no other way for this to be resolved other than for you to elect your representatives, and if the position of the people in your state is this is a free union of our state to the country, and we're not happy, we want to talk about withdrawing or changing the relationship, there's no other way to have that conversation except via your congressional representative. So if it's traitorous for your congressional representative to have that conversation, then the only other path is violence. And who wants
violence.
that? I don't want that.
Exactly. You're exactly right. If it's traitorous to even have this fucking conversation, then what the fuck are we supposed to do? Pick our goddamn nose? Huh? And sit there and let you do whatever the fuck you want? We're Americans.
Now,
I don't think people realize that as Americans, in our DNA as Americans is the right to go, fuck you. I won't do what you tell me to.
I don't care. I'm going to fight.
That's exactly why we moved over here to this land in the first place, was because we were telling a king, fuck you, we're not going to do what you tell me to. So it is in our blood to say, screw you, I'm not going to do what you say. So why are they getting pissed off at us when we're actually doing what we are, you know?
Now, okay, so I think I've stabilized here for a second. I do want to say this. I am not totally for national divorce or secession, although I do follow Texas Nationalist Movement on Twitter. I think they're kind of dumb. Like, I don't think it's going to work. And I don't know that people that are strongly in favor of this necessarily think all the way down the road, right? Because let's say that there's, enough sentiment for a national divorce. Do you know that 41% of Joe Biden voters support national divorce, separating from the red states, and 52% of Trump voters support withdrawing from the blue states? There's a huge plurality on both sides. This is an issue that both the left and the right agree on. It's only the people in the middle that are like, I don't want to break the country. So, there's a lot of.
Go ahead.
There's a lot of people that support this idea, but if you have it in your mind that, the red states will separate from the blue states, that is not what we have. We do not have red states and blue states. We have red states and blue cities. So what there will be, even if there is a peaceful national divorce, there's going to be violence, because there's going to be blue territories that need or want resources. Those resources might be water. It might be land to grow food. It might be transportation. It might be military bases or equipment.
We've seen this post-apocalyptic fucking scenario. Do we want to write one of Deacon's post-apocalyptic stories now and do a storyline? Because you're describing a post-apocalyptic storyline. How you get to it is exactly right. The urban areas are one way. The cities are another way. The cities start getting ruled by, who do you think is going to control the cities? Do you think positive people are going to control the cities? Yeah. The fucking, look at Chicago for the last 50 fucking 60 years.
Century.
100 century. Yeah, century. Look at Chicago. So that's what's going to happen to every city. So, and then when they run out of resources, where are they going to go? They're going to go out to the country.
Come after you.
So Jim Bob and Betty Lou and Thelma Lou are going to be out here with all their damn guns trying to keep you off their damn property. And don't think that Billy Bob
high density urban centers are going to need resources, and then they're going to push out into the suburbs, and they're going to come take the stuff from the suburbs. And then they're going to
they'll
crawl out. Yeah,
but they won't take, when they get to the farm area. That's when they stop freely taking stuff, because what the people in the cities don't realize. Let me tell you something, city people, if you've always lived in the city your entire life, I'm telling you a secret here that we don't want you to know. But all of us fucking rednecks, we've got shit hidden everywhere. I'm just telling you, all you people that live in cities.
I think the people in cities are woefully underprepared and are also eminently ready to commit violence to acquire what they need when they are in a position of desperation. And I don't think that we can count on one way or another, right?
That's key. What you said there, they're more prone to violence, whereas someone in my neck of the woods is more prone to help the neighbor rather than to go break into their house and steal everything they got. I will share my stuff with you rather than to steal from you.
So, let's not be too hasty to, like, one, if you and I know that Mr. E holds a different opinion of Miss Marjorie Taylor Greene, but like if your response to her saying this is like treason, oh, I'm gonna say, well, hold on, we actually
That's
have a
not
big
treason.
problem, and not talking about it is not going to solve the problem. But if you're on the other side and you're saying like, yeah, we need to separate, let me tell you, you need to slow your roll because like that's going to be bad also,
That's right.
real
You're exactly right.
bad.
We're not saying we need to
We gotta
separate. We're not
we gotta
saying that
figure
we
out how
need
to
to.
do something.
We
Yeah.
have to have a conversation about it. And what needs to be learned, first of all, and I was going to say this a minute ago because you gave some percentage, like 41% of the left and 52% of the right, Trump supporters or something. And I was like, that's funny because 93% of Americans, probably I'm going to say 97% of Americans don't have a fucking clue what the articles of separation are that was in our Constitution and was written by these freaking brilliant men a long time ago because they seen shit like this coming. We have the ability to separate, and people have been taught by their brain dead history teachers and barely passed fucking history and ethics class and U.S. history class. So they don't know this shit. They think that we have to do what the government says. And when Texas says we're going to secede, they're like, what a bunch of fucking traitors. That's part of what's written into the fucking this government.
So Jeremy says, what the heck are you people talking about? It's not like Texas recedes and somehow Texas has no standing government. It just doesn't become chaos for all. Okay, no, listen. Yeah, we have government. And if Texas secedes from the Union, Texas has a government. And you know what? That holds power until it doesn't. But what we introduce are a lot of factors that increase and cause competition for resources. And that means people are going to fight over stuff. And yeah, we may dissolve. We may have some states break away. You know what? A couple of those states will join together because, hey, it's in my economic interest and your economic interest. Let's share our border or whatever. And then you have a territory that has conflict with another territory. So it becomes a powder keg very, very quickly. And who says that the shape and state of Texas will remain the same as it is now? There's the articles of our Constitution for the state of Texas only hold as much weight and power as we are willing to imbue them with. And if we are willing to separate from the U.S. Constitution, don't think that the powers of the organization of the Texas Constitution is going to be any better. It's going to hold any more weight. It is dangerous, is what I'm saying. It's dangerous. We have to be careful and responsible. Now,
you're exactly right.
I think the real problem that we all have is the federal government consumes power and absorbs and absorbs, and it takes and it takes and it takes and it takes, and it never gives anything back. And that's the real problem here. If we reverted a little bit so that we recognized ourselves as 50 independent states that work together and we're independently sovereign, well, we might de-escalate these tensions. But right now we're living in interesting times, I think. That's my opinion. All right. So Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's saying what other people are saying. She's not alone out there.
You're exactly right. I think that's the key. Marjorie Taylor Greene gets up there and says what a lot of us are thinking. And that's why people don't like her, is because she will get up there and ruffle the feathers. She doesn't mind stirring the shit up. Me and my brother were fixing the car last night, and we were sitting there in the garage, and I had this exact same conversation because we were talking about something, and I said, me and you aren't shit stirrers. We were talking about somebody, and I was like, oh, he's a shit stirrer. He likes to stir shit up. He just likes to get on social media and just rile people up just to stir shit up. That's all he does is stir shit up. He's a shit stirrer. I like saying that word, shit stir. But I told Logan, I was like, that's not us. Me and you are mouthers. I'm a complainer. I'm mouth, and me and Logan both do it, and we get it from our dad. And our dad, we're oh, that's some bitch. Oh, he shouldn't have done that. Blah blah. But I'm not. That's about as far as I go. This is as far as I go on stirring shit.
This is what I'm talking.
I don't I don't get out there and poke the bear on purpose, poke the dog with the stick on purpose like some people do,
Right. And the guys in the chat are not agreeing with us. They're saying, "Oh no, it's dumb to think there's going to be war." It's not that dumb. It's not that dumb. Deacon, you're downriver from the Ohio thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, and that's a bad thing. The big spill in Ohio. Now, luckily, the particles are heavy, so they're going to not go down river as fast. But what if you're in an area where you're downriver and your entire economy ecosystem is downriver from a place that could also use that water? And if they're in another territory, in another state, and we have no formal way to make agreements with them, what if that area is like, you know what, we're going to dam this up and make a reservoir? And then, but hey, if you do that, like our community is not going to have any water. And then they're like, oh yeah, that's some tough shit. Really
sucks for you.
You think that doesn't happen? We had a story about it like 2 weeks ago. There's a town in like California or Arizona or something like that, where the city, they're going through a drought. And so the city that provides water to the surrounding territories was just like, we need this water. So, F you, Palo Verde, no water for Palo Verde. That's what it was. And that's what will happen. That's what will happen.
That's why you have a governing body to oversee stuff like that. And that's what, but
right.
we've had all these years for that governing body to completely take all of the control of everything.
Yeah,
and we as complacent Americans can just let them do it. And we've let them do it. That's what the fucking pandemic was just giving the government more power to do whatever the fuck they want. We gave the government power to just pick who they want to fucking put in as a president. Y'all don't think that happened because of the COVID? COVID allowed them to pick whoever they fucking want to be president now. So, whoever, it don't matter who runs this next president.
Yeah. Separation, not separation. If we separate, we're going to have to create a new way to organize with our neighbors to solve disputes, or those disputes will be solved the easy way, really.
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, if we can't even have a conversation with someone that would completely disagrees with us without getting to slobbering and mad and red-faced and spitting and whatnot, and we can have a conversation about this, if we get to that point to where we're not even going to have it's treasonous to even say that, then you're exactly right. What's the next answer? The next answer is, hey, bitch, now you're going to listen to me because I got a gun in your face. And you didn't want to have a conversation, but now you're going to listen.
What happens when that state border is like a national border, and your baby's mom takes your kid and skips town and crosses the border, and then going to get your kid is an international incident, or then I mean, like, it's so easy for conflict to erupt.
Yeah.
So we're in a believe you me, I am no fan of the federal government, and I think that we should strip the powers of them. But it's in all of our best interest to figure out a way to reduce tensions and say, hey, why don't we let your state be your state and my state be my state, and like simmer down. Simmer down. Because there's too much uncertainty going the other way. There's way too much uncertainty. All right. I think that's all we're going to do today. We have the Wheel of Time we can talk about tomorrow. We've got, I'll just hit this and we'll just leave. Trump says he has no desire to return to Twitter, Facebook after the success of Truth Social, to which I say, Trump's full of shit. That's not true. But he's still on the hook with Truth Social until June. So we'll see in June what he really says. But he's out there saying, oh, no, I love Truth Social. It's so great. Or I don't know. I'm not going to do it.
Because they gave him a bunch of money and shit, and he's got to say that per his contract.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's tied in.
Not a stupid man.
Yeah. So, I don't know. A lot of noise about Nikki Haley running president. I don't know. I don't really want to talk about that yet. I'm going to wait till like the whole cast of scoundrels is announced, and we'll see who we talk about as we enter the political season in the coming months. All right, that's all we got this morning. Deacon, you got anything to say?
You want to see? I want to bring this up.
Sure.
There's two stories, but the one here you posted, and I saw it yesterday. I brought this to Ashley's attention. Hang on, let me bring up the.
Oh my God, is it microplastics?
No.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
you can see her name. Damn it. Okay. So I brought this photo up to Ashley and I enlarged the photo and I said, "Who is this?" I said, "Do you know who this is?" And she said, "This person looks familiar." And
Oh my God.
I said, "That's Evangeline Lilly." And she was like, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, that's Evangeline Lilly." She goes, "Yeah, she looks just like her now." I was like, "Yeah, it does,
Yeah.
don't she?" And I was like, she looks really, I think she looks distinguished with that hairdo. I like it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I think she looks very, yeah, I
I do
still think
not.
she looks
Okay,
beautiful.
I am not going to. Okay, so the thing about Evangeline Lilly and the reason why this story is in here is not that picture. Although that picture is a little bit like, oh wow,
Yeah, I know. It was like, holy
lost
shit.
was lost was lost was 18 years ago. So
I know.
it was a minute.
Lost
It was a hot
20 years
minute
ago.
ago.
That's true. That's true.
So
She wasn't that old and lost.
and I feel like probably 3% bad about making my little joke a few months ago about Grandma Wasp, because when we first saw trailer footage of her in Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I saw her with the short hair, I was like, she looks like a grandma. And
She
in
does,
here,
though.
I'm like, she really does look like a grandma.
She does. She
But
looks like a grandma.
hey, look,
But that's all
everybody
right. I
ages.
mean, me and you are. I technically could have grandchildren. I
Yeah,
have friends that
yeah,
are grandfathers that I poke at
yeah,
them. My cousin that's a
yeah.
year older than me is a grandmother. All right. So, but yeah, I mean, I just wanted to show the picture. If you want to
You're
talk
right.
about this, I think that she's got
So
some balls,
yeah,
because
no. So I'm gonna say, especially now, because I read through this. And by the way, this story is, what is this, on Hollywood Reporter? It's
yeah,
definitely framed like she's a piece of shit for saying this. But let
yeah,
me tell you, and I already closed it, but you can read through there a couple of quotes. She basically was like, "Look, people shouldn't be forced to stick things in their bodies if they don't want to.
yeah, that's
Mind
good.
your own business."
Yeah.
And I'm like, hold on, Evangeline Lilly, you might have a burgeoning fan again, because I thought you were awesome back in Lost, but then that show sucked at the end.
But this shouldn't dictate how her talent is. If she is
Right.
talented, she should still get roles. So if she comes out and says this and she doesn't get any roles again, this just proves what we already know about
And a
Hollywood, that
quote,
it's a piece of fucking shit and the people there are pieces of shit.
she
Okay?
says at the bottom of your page there, I believe nobody should ever be forced to inject their body with anything against their will under threat of violence, violent attack, arrest, or detention without trial, loss of employment, homelessness, starvation, loss of education, alienation from loved ones, excommunication from society under any threat whatsoever. This is not the way. This is not safe. This is not healthy. This is not love. I understand the world is in fear, but I don't believe that that answering fear with force will fix our problems.
Yeah.
Oh my
She's
God.
exactly right.
Woo.
I mean, we have
Woo.
people around here.
Evangeline Lilly. Woo.
She said, speaking in the 2022 post, Lilly told I guess
WH.
Joe
No, I don't
magazine. I
understand.
don't know. She had questioned whether to publish it about 600 times, knowing that it might stir backlash. I know the beast that I'm attacking, she recalled thinking. I know that I have a little pebble and there's this fucking Goliath, the giant. If I shoot this pebble, it's going to wake the giant. She's right, but good for her. There's people that stand behind her. I agree with her. You should not be forced to inject anything into your body, anything ever against your will. What kind of goddamn? We might as well just.
Right. All right.
I thought that was.
All
I
right.
mean, but I like
Good.
Evangeline Lilly and her. She was just
I like her a lot
unrecognizable
more
there for
now.
a second. I just thought that was cool. One more, JJ.
Yeah.
You got one more? One more.
No.
Yeah.
We got one
Yeah.
more.
One
What do
more,
you
real
want to
quick. One more, real quick.
Wheel of time. Wheel of time. Fuck. Cancel this show, please.
That's only I didn't want to talk about it. I just
Please
waited to
cancel this
put
shit.
you off. That's the only thing. I was just waiting to bring
One
it
of
up.
these guys isn't even in the show anymore. This guy right here already quit. This isn't. I told somebody. Brian said this the other day. He's like, "Hey, I watched the Wheel of Time. It was pretty good."
I did too.
Oh, hey, we had a new comment over. I'm sorry on Rumble. UP3 True Breed. You're probably not here anymore, but he says Project Veritas is done. We follow James. We had a comment on there. Yeah. So Wheel of Time. Brian said he liked it, and because he's never probably read the books and he just watched the
Right.
show. He was like,
That's
"It's
the
all right
key.
show," and I'm
It's like
like,
me.
"Yeah, it's a fantasy show. It's a random fantasy show with Wheel of Time stamped on it. It's not a Wheel of Time
Oh, okay.
adaptation."
I'll take it from someone that has read the books and then loves you don't like this, and I completely
Yeah.
get that. But we've had this conversation before. As someone that's never read the books and is watching the show, I'm kind of like Brian. I'm like, "Oh, that's nice," but you said that before. You're like, "Yeah, but it's just generic fantasy show with Wheel of Time stamped on it." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. It's just like every other fantasy."
What was that? You remember when we were talking about Dark Tower, and I was like, Dark Tower is basically a script written from a Post-it note given to another guy had nothing to do with the book.
Yeah.
So that's what this TV show is. This is the exact same thing. Somebody was like, "So this is what the Wheel of Time is," and somebody took notes and was like, "Okay, well, we'll start from there." And they
then
just made
over
stuff up.
dinner, the dude's like, "Hey, I've got this idea for a show," and the guy's writing it down on a napkin.
One of the kids is married. Isn't he supposed to be 16? Yeah, but what if he's married and kills his wife? He doesn't get married for like 10 books. Yeah, but what if he kills his wife? All right, I guess so. And what if we, instead of making the star like the hero of the show, what if we make him like a supporting cast member and we just look at this girl all day? Whatever. Who cares? Here's your check. Yeah, Wheel of Time. I'm so excited about Wheel of Time. All right. Okay.
Don't you guys
thanks.
like seeing pissy JJ?
I care about 3 things. All right.
I like seeing pissy JJ. It's fun.
Come here, and I'll tell you where Mom is. And you look great. Thanks for putting your uniform on. Hey, come here. Hey, hold on, everybody. Before you leave, here you go. The showstopper is in. And what do we say, showstopper? What's your line? You know your line?
I don't know.
That's a great line. That's a good line. That works.
Okay.
Can you say like and subscribe?
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. And bye, Uncle Jeremy. Bye, Uncle Deacon.
What's that movie?